Hey folks, I'm Cuz Strickland, and welcome to this episode of Tennessee Dirt, presented by Mossy Oak Properties Tennessee Land and Farm, a podcast dedicated to helping you find your favorite place. Each episode we'll talk about all things related to land ownership and conservation throughout the great state of Tennessee. And don't worry, there'll be plenty of hunting and fishing stories too. Our goal here is to help each of you live your best life in the Tennessee dirt.
You live your best life in the Tennessee dirt, Davis?
Oh, yeah, always.
Yeah. Folks, welcome back. This is episode 9 of Tennessee Dirt, sponsored by Mossy Oak Properties, Tennessee Land and Farm. I'm Jamie Spencer. Glad to be back with you and doing one of these. My fellow realtor and friend Davis Fleming. You guys have seen him on several episodes. And man, this is going to be a cool one. We have with us today Mr. Terry Hetrick. Terry, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yep, happy to have you. This is going to be a good one, folks. Terry has got an interesting background, an interesting story. He does something that a lot of us probably wish we were really, really good at, like Terry is. He is, and you're going to hear about that. I'm going to really not steal any of his thunder, but I've met you, I don't know, several years ago, I guess, just being out at the Nashville Gun Club here in Nashville. And Terry's an instructor out there, and we're going to get into that and sort of his background and how he got into that. But it was a neat idea to think about having you here because I think so many people that Davis and I work with all the time, which is usually outdoorsmen in some respect, right? Hunters mostly and all that kind of stuff. We spend a little time at the Nashville Gun Club in charity shoots or whatever. And one of the most humbling sports you could ever do, by the way, if you think you're good at shooting, you go out to the Nashville Gun Club and do you a round, and we'll find out really how good you are. But Terry, thanks for being here, and thanks for joining us. This is episode 9, and I'm excited for this one. Give us a little bit of background, if you don't mind, about where you're from and maybe how you started and got into all this, because this is your world.
Well, I grew up in Pennsylvania, South Central Pennsylvania. We're Penn State fans up that way, so
Gotcha.
sorry for you UT fans. But
No UT fans.
No UT
Alabama
fans.
and Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ways away from Pennsylvania.
Even further away.
I grew up in a town that's about 30 miles from Beaver Stadium up there, and it's the land is similar to what you see here in Tennessee.
Right.
A lot of woods, a lot of hills and stuff. But the cool thing about my town, although it was a very small town, we had one of the largest skeet shooting clubs in the country. We had 16 skeet fields at Shenandoah Sportsman. So we would draw nationwide shoots would come in. It was the perennial home for the Pennsylvania State Skeet Championships, which early on in my career was one of the biggest skeet shooting events in the whole country, which was kind of cool. And it was in my backyard, basically. But prior to knowing anything about skeet shooting, my dad took me at a young age to learn how to hunt and enjoy the outdoors and conservation. And, part of that was we had one of those little old-fashioned hand throwers where you basically had a little fork at the end of a stick, and my dad would whip those targets out. Sure. And with my single-shot 20-gauge full-choke shotgun, I would attempt to shoot them. And he gave me, my introduction to that. And some, I always used to say that if my dad wasn't as old as he was, he could have probably pitched for the Yankees because he had such a good arm throwing those things. But we knew that my dad's brother, my uncle, was a competitive skeet shooter and shot a lot at Shenandoah. He lived right at the foot of the hill there. Mm-hmm. And we were coming home from church one Sunday, and there was a department store in Huntington, Pennsylvania, C.H. Miller Hardware, which was just a big department store that had a sign that announced, on the outside, local events that were going on.
Sure.
And there was a sign there, Welcome Pennsylvania Skeet Shooters. So we decided after church that we would go up and see my uncle shoot skeet for the first time and kind of see what this was all about. And that's basically how it all started. Within a week of doing that, my uncle had me up at Shenandoah and gave me my first skeet lesson.
How old were you then?
I believe I was about 13, I believe it was.
Yeah, so just a young teenage boy.
Just a young teenager. It was something that I really enjoyed. I had played Little League Baseball, Teen League Baseball, Pee Wee football, bitty basketball, But when I got involved with the skeet shooting, it's something that kind of clicked. And that was 50-some years ago.
Wow.
And, we still enjoy it. And that's basically how it all started.
How you got started. So did that lead into pretty quickly becoming a competitive thing for you, or was it a recreational activity at that point as you started to go through your teenage years and your young 20s and so forth?
Well, when shortly after that lesson, we decided I'd like to try it a little bit. So I can remember I got a little hand reloader. It was a Lee hand loader, not like these presses they have today, but a little Lee hand loader in a 20 gauge. It took about an hour to load a box of shells, but by darn, I would, do little odd jobs to make a little money, and I could buy reloading components and have some shells to shoot, and saved up, and I bought my first skeet gun was a Remington 1100, and it was a 20 gauge skeet gun. I did that because I could shoot both the 20 gauge and the 12 gauge of events in skeet competition with the 20 gauge, and then down the line, of course, we were able to get a few more guns and compete in the whole thing. But pretty soon on, I guess I just got bitten that day by watching the shoot-offs for the state championship up there, and it just kind of something that stuck for a while.
Yeah, I could do this.
Well, I didn't know that I could do it, but I sure wanted to give it a try.
Yeah. You were hunting at the same time, right, Rick, with your family. You knew you loved doing that. This was just a neat thing for you to, and plus being in your backyard, I can imagine that probably made it easier to get involved and to be around it.
It was, and it gave me an opportunity as a young boy to shoot often, where the hunting we didn't, the area we lived in, it wasn't large for bird hunting, although there was a few, but it was pretty much an all-day thing to get a shot or two, maybe to pheasant or something like that. And this gave me the opportunity to enjoy the sport, a little more.
Yeah, it's
year
awesome.
round.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I struggle with. Dove season rolls around September 1st around here, and it's been since February since I've shot a shotgun, and then I'm out there trying to hit some doves, and I'm like, oh boy, I should have practiced a little bit this summer.
Little gray rockets flying around, and you, like I said, you get humbled quick.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting in what I do now, the teaching and what have you, but probably the busiest week for me, business-wise, is
Prior to dove season?
the week before. Now, as far as I remember, dove season, no matter where I've ever lived, is September 1st.
Yeah.
Every year since creation, but they wait till the last week of August to come out.
Yeah, try to get
their
ready real
practice in.
quick.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. You talked about how did you get involved in teaching, or talk about your school basically out at Nashville Gun Club. That's correct. You have the Terry Hetrick Shooting School. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, so I kind of got into the business in 1991. I moved to San Antonio, Texas, where the headquarters for the National Skeet and the National Sporting Clays are located at the National Gun Club in San Antonio. It's a huge facility. They have the Sporting Clay Nationals. They have the World Skeet Shoot. And it was just a dream job for me to go and actually work in the organization. I was there 2 years. I was called the Special Projects Coordinator. I did a number of things with those tournaments, and we also at the time in both skeet and sporting clays had a nationwide league where you would shoot for a period of 10 weeks at your home club. You keep track of the scores. No email or internet at those times, so you would actually put
Write
a
'em
stamp
down.
on and mail them in, and I
Wow.
kept track of all that, and I solicited companies in the business to donate things. We for a couple of years when I was there actually gave away a brand new Buick. Buick donated a car for both skeet and sporting clays that they drew on a random drawing, which that
Wow.
was a pretty big
Yeah.
thing to be able to reach into the bucket of everybody's name that participated. You gave away a car and a lot of other good prizes. But, different things like that is what I did. From there, I didn't get to shoot much competition there because we were pretty much busy
Working.
you know. But on an off weekend one time, I went to the old San Antonio Gun Club, great club downtown San Antonio. And I met a gentleman by the name of Jess Briley and his son-in-law, Cliff Muller, who were the owner and the CEO of Briley Manufacturing. If you guys ever buy any choke tubes for your shotguns, aftermarket choke tubes, Briley probably made those. They made small gauge inserts for over and under shotguns where you could reduce a 12 gauge down to a 20, 28, or 410 gun. So you had one gun to shoot the entire skeet tournament with. And I happened to get squatted to shoot with them. And we made friends, and I got back to San Antonio Monday morning, went in the office. The first phone call I got was from the Bradley people and asked me if I'd go to work for them. So I did end up doing that. I moved over to Houston, went to work for them, which was a pretty cool job through the week. I sold equipment on the phone and typing in orders, but then on the weekends I would go out to tournaments. And these were skeet tournaments mainly for me. That was my forte in those days. Yeah. And I had a little bit of luck. For the first time, I really had some financial help to do the shooting, so I could travel out further. I could fly to shoots. I could stay in hotels and shoot the big shoots that I never got to, and just met a plethora of fantastic people doing that. But it all kind of went back, this whole journey, back to my early days. I had a Winchester professional by the name of Ken Sedlecki, who kind of took me under his wing. And he was a great shot. He won world championships in the industry division, in the professional division, and what have you. And he kind of took me under the wing, and he taught me. My dad kind of got me interested, gave me the basics. My uncle kind of taught me how to shoot skeet, but Kenny taught me how to win. And as fun as the winning part was, he said, you'll never understand how great these games are until you help somebody else enjoy them. And I've never forgotten that. And that's when I had the want to be able to teach and share this with others, and kind of made that a lifelong passion. And that's basically how I got here. They shipped me up here to Nashville Gun Club to a tournament, and I was looking for somewhere to teach full time. I looked around and said, let's see, Nashville's right in the middle of the country. Yep. 3 interstates, international airport, and the gun club is right along a major thoroughfare that you can see from the city. Right. If you can't make it here, you're not going to make it anywhere. Yeah. And so that's basically how it happened.
And that was 25 years ago.
That was 25 years ago.
Man, that's a neat story. I can't imagine what it would be like to go. I mean, we have a pretty cool job, Davis. We get to spend most of our days in the outdoors, and every day's different. We're on farms or whatever we get to do. You get to go out and kind of do what you love every day too at the Nashville Gun Club, and we'll for sure find a spot here in the end to promote them. Great facility, great place to visit, folks. If you have not been to the Nashville Gun Club, it is something you need to put on your to-do list. It's a great family activity. For sure. Take your kids, even your wife. I'm sure you get a lot of husband and wives out there. And just you can be a member, I'm sure, membership there. But you can also just go on a random day without being a member and shoot the course.
That's right. And if you're new, they'll take you down. One of the staff will take you down and kind of introduce you, get you off to a good start, make sure that it's good and safe, which we have a very safe sport, and they do an excellent job at that.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I've been out there, it's just a top-notch facility, and right there on the Cumberland River, and it's really neat. For folks that may not know, what is the difference between skeet and trap? There is a difference, and I don't think people really understand what that is. Can you tell us?
I can show you. So basically, these days we have three general clay target games. You have trap shooting, skeet shooting, and sporting clays. Trap shooting is kind of the oldest, and if you ever go to the gun club, you stand about 16 yards back from a thrower that oscillates and throws the targets away from you at varying distances. Skeet shooting is the second oldest sport, and it was started by a group of frustrated grouse hunters from Andover, Massachusetts. And basically what they wanted to do is create a way that they could practice shots that they struggled with when they were out grouse hunting. Because if you've ever been grouse hunting, you get a shot at a grouse, you may not get it. It's hard hunting, and it's tough shooting. Yeah. So what they originally did, they placed a machine in the center of a circle, and they had stations 360 degrees around the circle. And that worked out pretty, you could change the angle of the shot by moving around those circles. That worked out good until the guy next door who had a chicken farm didn't like the fact that they were throwing all this lead over where his chickens were. So they simply just cut the circle. Whoops, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Simply just cut the circle in half.
Right. To avoid having the 360.
Having the 360, put 8 stations around it and 2 throwers at each end.
Yeah.
And so that's basically skeet shooting.
I never would have known that.
No. Late late 1980s, early 90s, the game of sporting clays came across the ocean from the UK and really changed things as far as shotgun shooting. And it's basically described mostly by, it's like golf with a shotgun. You travel a course that may be 10, 12, 15, 20 stations with varying target presentations, and it really it simulates hunting conditions and things like that, and that seems to be the fun one that everybody is really gravitating to now.
It's kind of random, right? I mean, not really random, but each station might have a low clay or a high clay or crossing or straight out. Yeah.
And then the next week you go, they may have moved the machines, so you have a completely different target presentation. Where skeet and trap are the same always. Skeet and trap are great games. That's what I did most of my career. But the sporting clays has really turned things on.
I mean, people used to have golf tournaments. Now some of those same companies are having sporting clay tournaments out of the Nashville Gun Club.
That's right. And I'll tell you, I love golf. I'm horrible at it. I mean, absolutely horrible at it. But if you think about it, you saw, Jamie, some of the charity shoots out there. Mm-hmm. If you do a charity golf thing, you've got your 4 people, and then 500 yards away are another 4 people, then 400 yards away, another group of people. When you're shooting, you're all just kind of there together. And it's great for team building, networking, and things like that, and charity things, because everybody's kind of right there together.
Man, that's a great point. I never thought about it that way. Well, I'm going to bring my wife and my daughters out there at some point, and maybe even we'll, employ you for a lesson or two, especially with the ladies. I do love to shoot. I think the last term I was out there a few weeks ago, I think we had 50 possible opportunities. I think I've done it where it's like 99 or 50, as far as how many shots you get.
Yeah. Depending on the crowd and how long they want to spend, it would determine how many targets you would actually shoot. Yeah. And the gun club is very good at helping you coordinate that so it fits into your.
Yeah, because they'll do morning sessions and afternoon sessions. But anyway, I was with Jerry Vance and the Lee Company team, and I think I shot 42 out of 50, which is pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Of course, I wanted
pretty good for anybody.
I wanted those 8 shots back because I feel like I could make those. What's the biggest mistake that you see when you spend time with people, whether they're experienced or inexperienced? What's the most common mistake somebody makes of why they're missing when they're trying to shoot a skeet? Is there an answer to that?
Yeah, there's a very good answer, and it wouldn't be one that you would expect. But the biggest mistake I see, people overthink it.
Yeah.
When I get somebody brand new or has a little bit of experience, whatever, I have them shoot a few targets, and then I ask them, I said, what's the best piece of equipment you own to shoot with? And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, well, your brain. Well, that's actually the worst piece of equipment that we own to shoot with. The best piece of equipment you have to shoot with is your natural instinct.
Reaction.
And yes, exactly. I mean, I used to kid, I said that, with the overthinking of things, it's the smart people that keep me in business.
I get that.
I'm the same way when the bird's coming in and I'm drawn down on it like I am and just drawn down on this bird, I whiff more times than not. But if I have just a natural reaction of just having my gun down, pulling up when I think it's time to shoot, I hit it 10 times.
You perform better.
Yeah.
There's truth to that.
It's honestly, that's the biggest mistake. They try to overthink things, and if you just let your natural instinct take over, and the way you turn on your natural instinct is your eyesight. Clay target shooting is more of a seeing game than it is a shooting game. If you can do this, you can shoot. The seeing part takes a little practice and a little knowing how to get set up to see the targets.
Yeah, but I'm sure folks are, now do I need to close one of my eyes? Or how far do I lead it? And all those things. And when you're there with someone, you're essentially standing kind of just right behind them, taking in what you're seeing and what's going. And if they happen to miss, you might know immediately that there's some mechanical user error. You can help someone fix that. But it's an interesting answer that really it's mostly probably up here.
It is. And, a guy like yourself, that has some experience shooting, and by the way, your 42 out of 50 is a very good score. I'm quite impressed. But understanding that it is a seeing game, and how to set up for that is the whole key to the game. All the other things like calculating lead and all that, your natural instinct does that for you if you see the target properly, and that's the key to it. But people tend to get in their own way, and it's kind of fun. I mean, to be able to show them how simple it is. most of the people like yourself that come, the first thing they'll say is, I want you to see what I'm doing wrong. And it's very rarely you find somebody that's actually doing something wrong.
Right.
Now, you see them doing a whole bunch of things, doing things they don't need to be doing that are getting in the way of the few things you need to do to break a target or to bring down a duck or a quail or a pheasant or something like that.
That's pretty cool. You've got a lot of accolades in your history with this. I was reading earlier championships at all different kind of levels. Which accomplishment means the most to you as you look back in your history of things you've accomplished, or championships, or things that you've won? What's one that sticks out?
Well, there's a couple actually. I'm very fortunate that I got to shoot some with my dad, although he invested most of his resources for me to shoot. But in our family, between my uncle, my dad, and myself, I've always said my dad was the best shot, but he invested all his resources so that I could enjoy it. But we did have a very small little club shoot in Patton, Pennsylvania. At that time, it was the 7H Skeet Club that the Holtz family ran, and it was a team event, a two-man team event. My dad and I actually won that. So it wasn't a state championship, it wasn't a world champ, but that was pretty cool.
That's a great answer.
I've been very fortunate to have two daughters that shot and did a little competition, and both of them have won some events. My oldest daughter, Krista, actually in 2005 won the Sub-Junior Ladies World Championship in skeet shooting. My daughter Nicole, my youngest daughter Nicole, won the Nashville Predators shoot twice in the ladies division, so that was pretty cool. But both of them at one time at a competition we were together beat me in a competition, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It was also my son didn't shoot a lot. He was in school and what have you, didn't shoot a lot, but he and some of his buddies get together every year, and they came to Nashville once, and they all went out and we got to shoot together, and that was really neat. And then he got married and married a girl from Panama who had never held a gun before, and I got to shoot with them. So things like that are really pretty cool. But the best win I ever had was during COVID, when they shut the gun club down for a few weeks, and that was okay for a while. I just sat at home and watched TV and didn't do the dishes and all that kind of stuff. And I figured at some point I'm going to have to do something to get some income here because I'm not being able to teach. So I just did a little Facebook ad that, hey, if you want to buy a package of lessons and you pay for it now, you'll be the first on the list when you come back. And at the same time, I was involved in a local gun store here that sold some high-grade guns. And we advertised on 99.7, the Phil Valentine show. Great guy. Phil came out to take a test run to make sure it's something he wanted to advertise, and we got to be buddies, and we go to lunch every once in a while, and he shot with me at a couple charity shoots, so we got to be great. But he would always plug me in my shooting school when he was advertising the gun store.
Right.
So between that and the Facebook ad, the first call that I got was from a lady who wanted to take some lessons, and she said she decided to do this because she saw the Facebook thing, and then she heard Phil Valentine. She said, if Phil Valentine said it, it's got to be good. And she came out and bought a package of lessons, and about a year later, we got married. So that was the biggest. That was the biggest score.
That's a great story. Yeah,
good for you, man.
Didn't
That's
see
awesome.
that coming out. I mean, I was like, okay, yeah.
Where's this going? That's cool, man. And how long have you guys been married?
We've been married 4 years next month.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Yeah. Well, we talk about getting involved with couples, husbands, families, and so forth. Davis has 2 young sons. What is the recommended age for people out there that might want to get their young son or daughter involved? Is there an answer to when that can happen?
Here's what I tell everybody. If your child is strong enough to hold a shotgun up with minimal assistance, and they're old enough to understand exactly what they have in their hands, it's probably time to give them a start. The worst mistake you can do with a young one, though, is to try it too early. 2 things have to happen. the first time you have anyone out, really, but especially a younger person. It can hurt, and they have to have some success. And so I would much rather have them hold off a little bit until we can do that easily, and instead of losing them for that would go against everything that I would want to happen. You have these dreams anytime you get somebody new that they're going to go be the next great shot.
And you don't have to be a hunter necessarily to enjoy shooting sporting clays or skeet or trap.
No.
In fact, probably a lot of your clients aren't hunters.
You're exactly right. It's the cool thing about my job. I mean, it's such a wide demographic of people. We have people who hunt, get ready for that. We have people that just shoot recreationally. We have people that don't hunt at all, but they do enjoy this. And it's really a cool game. It's one that guys and girls can, and old and young can all play together. They can all learn to shoot, and you can do it for a long time.
Yeah. It's a great activity, great point. And I just love the exposure. Hopefully this episode will give the people to come out and not only shoot at the Nashville Gun Club, but maybe even get some lessons with you, Terry.
Yeah.
Davis, your son is how old? Your oldest?
I got a 2-year-old and a 3-week-old.
Not quite ready to go out and shoot.
We might hold up on the 3-week-old.
Yeah.
But something cool. Even if your son or your daughter isn't quite ready to do the shooting, they can come along. We can put some safety glasses on them. We can put some ear protection on them, and they can
still be exposed to it.
They can expose to it. They can push the buttons for. At a young age, all they want to do, they want to hang out with dad, or mom, or both. And that's a cool way to do it.
Yeah. You don't want them to be scared of it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great. I mean, just take them out there and let them watch you for a round, and that's just going to go in his memory bank. And tell us about Krieghoff. I had to do a little research on that because I wasn't too familiar. I knew they were a gun manufacturer. Tell us about your relationship with them and what you do with them.
Krieghoff is an old gun manufacturer from over in Ulm, Germany.
Okay.
They got into the sporting arms after World War II. They came into this country back in the early 60s, I believe it was. A gentleman by the name of Hal DuPont down in Vero Beach, Florida, was the first importer and brought them in and did such a great job over here that Dieter Krieghoff, fourth generation Krieghoff, decided to move to the United States. He moved to Ottsville, Pennsylvania in 1980 and opened Krieghoff International to service the North American market. They're fine over and under shotguns. In my opinion, they're the finest in the world. Very proud to represent them. 7 or 8 years ago, I guess it was, they invited me to become a part of their pro staff as a Krieghoff Pro instructor, and that was quite an honor for me.
Sure. Only two. I think you said only two.
They have 2 skeet instructors on their pro staff. They have a number of sporting clay pro instructors, a number of trap pro instructors, and I think they have an Olympic-style shooting pro instructor. But we all kind of teach everything, but we've got these different designations. There's 2 of us that are designated, myself and a gentleman by the name of Todd Bender from Georgia, who's been doing it a long, long time.
Yeah. Do you have to do a certain amount of tournaments, or as
an instructor, our job basically with Krieghoff is to do a good job teaching and earn our clients' trust that when they want a recommendation for a high grade gun, it would be a Krieghoff. Is
sure
basically our
makes sense.
Yeah.
Do most people at the Nashville Gun Club shoot 20 gauge, 12 gauge, 28 gauge? What do you see?
The 12 gauge is obviously the most popular, but there are plenty of shooters that shoot a 20 or a 28 gauge, have very good success with them. And it's just kind of a personal thing, but the 12 gauge is the most popular.
Yeah.
The sub gauge, say sub gauge, 20 and 28 gauge is becoming very popular in the waterfowl world because of the ammunition now and how powerful they are compared to, even 10, 15 years ago, and the quality of the ammunition, and the sub gauge is becoming pretty popular. I mean, is that kind of the same for skeet, or?
Well, skeet has skeet shooting, the competition through the National Skeet Shooting Association has always had events for 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and 410 gauge. So it's always been popular in skeet shooting.
Right.
Trap and sporting clays are basically a 12-gauge game, which means 12 gauge or below. If you have a young shooter or a lady, maybe that the 12 gauge is a little more than they want to handle, it's perfect fine in those 12 gauge events to shoot a smaller gauge.
Yeah. Makes sense.
As well, sporting clays has some side events with the smaller gauges, so they're quite popular. And what makes that kind of cool too is you can take your gun that you're going to hunt quail with, or doves or whatever, if you don't use a 12 gauge for that, and actually take it out to the gun club and practice.
Yeah. What were we shooting at that place in Hornbeak that I had for sale for a while?
Oh gosh, that
was that the 20 or
that was a 410.
410.
Yeah,
single shot 410.
Yeah, we had an old single shot 410. We were, those single throwers you had.
Well,
I picked one up at Walmart on the way to this farm, and we just, we're spending the night. We had a bunch of our agents kind of go out and sort of preview a farm Davis had listed, and just thought it'd be neat for us to sit on the back of the truck and throw a few skeets and have a little friendly competition. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that would be pretty good competition with the 410.
410.
Single shot 410.
Yeah.
Yeah. Civil War style, one shot.
Yeah.
So, in wrapping this kind of up, tell if somebody hears this and wants to, hey, I think I might want to go out and maybe get some lessons. Maybe I've done this a couple times in my life. I didn't do that great. How do they contact you? What does it look like the first time they show up? Give the folks a sense of if they hire Terry Hetrick's shooting school, how does that experience start and what does it look like?
Well, the best way to contact us is to go on to the Nashville Gun Club's website and go down to the instruction, and all my information's there, and there's some propaganda there to try to talk you into it. And
Sure.
And that's the best way to contact me. Just kind of go through them. My phone number's in there. I do have a Facebook page on there too. They can look my name up on Facebook and do it that way, and we'll get them out and get them started.
If they're brand new and never done it before, you probably have something different that you would do as opposed to somebody.
Yeah. We'll get a little information from them first, so everybody starts at a level that's comfortable with them. No need to have equipment to come out. If you're brand new, I have plenty of guns, and the Nashville Gun Club has plenty of guns that we can use and get you started. So if you're a hunter and want to sharpen up a little bit before dove season, don't
the week
wait,
before
don't
September,
I might be calling you.
Don't wait till the week before.
August, last week of August, his phone goes nuts.
I can imagine.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for exposing us to some things we didn't know, particularly about. I think this is such an interesting topic, and I would love to be better at what you do. And really, the only thing to do to get better is to experience it and to go out there and do it and practice it. And I really enjoyed all my times at the Nashville Gun Club, and I hope you guys will find the time to go visit them. Any parting words or stories or anything you want to share or promote? Or
I just encourage everybody to give it a try. Encourage you guys to come out and we'll shoot a little bit together. And it's just it's been a great life for me. The biggest thing isn't what you won or how many targets you broke. It's the friends you make and the people you meet. There's none better anywhere in the world. I mean, it's a great organization and a great group of people that you meet.
Truer words were never spoken. I totally agree with that. And it's just like spending time out in the woods with your family. I put this in the same bucket of water, and we need to do more of it. Families really need to go out here and experience this.
Well, maybe we'll have a Moss Oak Properties.
Let's do that.
Shoot.
Yeah,
that'd be a great idea.
And of course, we'll make it into a competition. Of course.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Obviously, we'll get some kind of incentive and put that out there. We'll contact Nashville Gun Club and do that here coming up. Terry, thank you very much for your time here on Tennessee Dirt. Davis, thanks again. Our 9th episode wrapping it up. This is awesome, and looking forward to the next one, folks. Again, Nashville Gun Club, located here in Nashville, Tennessee. Terry Hetrick Shooting School has got a Facebook page, or contact the Nashville Gun Club directly to get hooked up with Mr. Terry. Thank you again, sir. We appreciate
you very much. My pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for listening to Tennessee Dirt, presented by Mossy Oak Properties, Tennessee Land and Farm. And be sure to visit us at mossyoakproperties.com to connect with our team and our collection of listings located throughout the state of Tennessee.